Okay, let's look at how to write the electron configuration and orbital diagram. For this also, I have a detailed video I posted. Please watch that. It's just I made only for the writing electron configuration. So, electron configuration and orbital diagram means you showing the it's a way of representing number of electrons in an atom. So if you go to the electron configuration of hydrogen, you write, because hydrogen has one electron, you write 1 is 1. So 1 is the, like hydrogen is in the first uh, period, it has one electron, so that one electron is in the closest to the nucleus. So 1 is 1. So I have, and also when you write electron configuration, you have to fill the electrons from the lowest energy orbitals. Like that means you have to start filling the lowest energy shell is first you fill closest to the nucleus. The closest to the nucleus is first principal shell. Then go to the second one. Then go to the third one. Example, first one first principal shell, which is you have only one s. So one s, and each orbital, this is a new thing, you hold up to 2 electrons. So 1 is 2. You go to the second principal shell. Second principal shell, you have how many subshells? 2. S and a P. So you go 2s2, 2p, 6y. Remember I told you in p orbital you have p can have 3 different arrangements. So px is a one orbital, py is another orbital, pz is another orbital. So each orbital can hold up to 2 into 3, 6, like that. And then there's another rule when you write Pauli's exclusion principle. Any two electrons occupying in the same orbital must have opposite spins. That is mainly in when drawing the orbital diagram. I will show you Hund's rule. Orbitals of equal energy will, so that means the same subshell will get each get one electron before any of them gets the second one. So that's the rules for the writing electron configuration. I'm going to take this question. Determine the full and the condensed electrons for the magnesium, aluminum, and sulfur. So let's see how you're going to write electron configuration of magnesium, aluminum, and sulfur. So let me take a new sheet. So I have magnesium. With, how do I know the how many electrons? You look at the periodic table. Periodic table give the number of protons. But if the atom is a neutral, number of protons will equal to the number of electrons. So magnesium is 12. First, let's take magnesium and let's see how to write the electron configuration. So you have to show how this 12 electron in the magnesium arrange in the this atom electron configuration. I start 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. How many electrons? If you count, it's 10 electrons. But it's not 10, it's 12. So 1s2, there's no p in 1. 2s2, 2p6. There's no 3. After that, no. After 2p, you go to 3s. 3s2. So this is how you write the magnesium. And then when you come to the orbital diagram, you represent orbital in a little square. And then Pauli's exclusion principle said in the fourth quantum number is spin quantum number. Spin should cancel out. So in the orbital diagram, you show electron in a half arrow. Half arrow up means spin positive, half arrow down means spin negative. So this is 1s2. You go to 2s2. 2p6. You have 1, 2, 3. Up. So Hund's rule, it says first when it electron fill, it fills singly and then pairing up and then S. This is how you write the orbital diagram. And then I have another one. If I take magnesium and then let's take a sulfur, which is 16. I'm writing 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p4. Always when you count the superscript represent how many electrons? It gives 16. And then you draw the orbital diagram. You already know how to draw, like you draw the up to here we draw. And then 3p6. P, 3 P's, right? 1, 2, 3. You can draw this P in, how do you fill this 4 electron? There's two ways, right? You can fill 1, 2, 3, 4. Or else you can do 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one is correct? I go with this one. I go with this one. Why? According to the Hund's rule, this is the correct one, this is wrong. According to the Hund's rule, when electron filling in the same subshell, this is P is subshell, it fills singly and then pairs up. So first it fills half filled and then only it's pairing up. So this is how electron fill in the, this is how you write the electron configuration. And then you see you can see clearly how they do it. And then the condensed one is, you see, you look at the closest previous noble gas. If you can find a closest previous noble gas, you can do that as well. Because if you look at the a 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, for magnesium, closest previous, so before in the periodic table, before magnesium, you get the neon noble gas. So you write neon and then the remaining electrons. This method is very useful in Gen Chem 1 when we write electron configuration of the species with lot of electrons like D block, F block. You can always practice this method, but I'm like it's easy how to write the electron configuration. And then with that, we are moving to the periodic table, which is very interesting topic. I love to do this with my students. Periodic table, very important. The periodic table classify in the metals, non-metals, metalloids mainly, and then it also classified into blocks. In this level, we talk about this is first two groups or families we call S block, and then this P block, and then D block, SPD. So then, my question, write the ground state electron configuration using noble gas co-abbreviation for calcium, tellurium, and bromine. Let's look at calcium. So first you look at where the calcium in the periodic table. And then, so the nearest the noble gas for calcium is 20, it is argon. So you look at closest previous. So it's argon 18. And then you know the calcium in the S block. How do you know? Because calcium is so like up to this level. Calcium is like here. So the calcium is in the S block. So every element, element is in the S block, its electron configuration of also ends in S. If the element is in the D block, the electron configuration ends in D. Electrons in the P block, electron configuration ends in P. So think about, we wrote the electron configuration for sulfur. Sulfur ends with P4 because it's a P block element. We wrote the electron configuration for magnesium, ends with S. So it's a S block element. So this is how you write the electron configuration. Okay. And then another thing is the valence electrons, co-electrons. Valence electrons are the electrons in the highest principal shell, co-electrons everything else. So if I look at the element such as, okay, I'm going to say, okay, sulfur. Let's take sulfur. I'm asking how many co-electrons, how many valence electrons. Sulfur usually in the main group elements. Main group elements means, if I go back here, instead of D block, we skip the D block. This S and P are the main group elements. In main group elements, the group number equal to the number of valence electrons. Very important. Main group elements. Group number equal to the number of valence electrons. Example, if I ask how many valence electrons in calcium, calcium is in group 2, 2 valence electrons. And then anything here, like if I say sulfur, sulfur group number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 valence electrons. There is valence electrons. Um, Identify the valence electrons. So anytime when you, how do you calculate the valence electrons? Um, like calcium, this question, it says calcium, 2 electrons, tellurium, where's the tellurium in the periodic table? Look at tellurium. Tellurium is in the group 6, 6 valence electrons. Bromine is in the 7, 7 valence electrons. Okay. Group number equal to the valence electrons. We go down a little bit and then we talk about Lewis dot symbols. We're going to go into details. Lewis dot symbols only represent the valence electrons. So the calcium has 2 valence electrons. You write calcium and put the 2 dots. So and then we talk about the atomic size. Go down the group, atomic radius increases. Going across the period, atomic radius decreases. We just learn about this, the pattern. And then we talk about some patterns, and in the exam I may ask, arrange these elements in increasing atomic radius, decreasing atomic radius. So let's look at this question. Aluminium and phosphorus, which one would you expect to be larger? From aluminum and phosphorus, so I have in the periodic table, look at the periodic table, aluminum is here, phosphorus is here. I expect aluminum to be larger because when you go across the periodic table, size decreases. So phosphorus is smaller than aluminum. And like that, you can know about the metallic properties. So you need to know what are the metals, non-metals, and metalloids. It's a good idea. You can bring up. I let you bring a periodic table to the exam. I'm okay if you want a color, like, okay, shade. These are metals, these are non-metals, these are metalloids, and make sure you show your periodic table to the camera. Um, so the metallic character, when you go across the period, decreases, and when you go down when you go down the column, it increases, and like that we do the metallic character, electron affinity, and so on. And I hope this video will help you to understand this